Well, so before we start the news, let's run this by you. We've been to the campus of Adisco, as well as West Africa Secondary School will be this morning. But tomorrow, definitely before the finals on Thursday, we should bring to you live pictures from St. Peter's, Nkwetia. But let's start the latest news headlines. We start the news from Parliament, where its Privileges Committee has suspended investigations into allegations of contempt against the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Ken Agyapong, following a string of objections raised by his lawyers when he appeared before the committee on Tuesday. 5 of the objections were overruled, but a 6th one on the constitution of the committee was accepted by the chairman of the committee. Mr. Agyapong was hauled before the committee after the Member of Parliament for Asawase and Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak accused him of making derogatory comments about the majority leader and Parliament as a whole. Allegations Mr. Agyapong has since denied. Joseph Opogogapo has the rest of the story from Parliament.
3 members of the committee have recused themselves because of the association with Ken Agyapong, and the rules of the House require that the committee be reconstituted under such circumstances. Now, the case will be referred to the Speaker and leadership for a determination on replacement before the case can continue. Listen to lawyer for Ken Agyapong, Afenyo Markins, raised the objections.
Having granted interview to the press, have injured the reputation of the Honorable Ken Agyapong, and they have further prejudiced the outcome of the hearing which is before you today. We accordingly submit that considering all these, the said members, since they have not had reason to question the publication by Graphic, they should recuse themselves from the proceedings, else the likelihood of bias becomes of grave concern to us, because they have already predetermined what they think is meritorious, and that they have already gotten the media to think in one way or the other against the respondent. That is our first ground. It is our rule that when a motion is moved, same must be carried. This motion was moved. We had contributions. It was not even seconded. And it is a matter of record, Mr. Speaker. The evidence upon which this petition is mounted is not coming from proper custody.
Chairman of the Privileges Committee, Jose Wusu, overruled the objections, but one of Mr. Agyapong's lawyers, Katie Hammond, insisted the case cannot continue because the committee is not duly constituted.
You have the letter here in which clearly they indicate that they intend to step aside. Speaker, by this standing order, you are to consider whether you accept their resignation or purported resignation. Mr. Speaker, if you do accept it, and we submit that you have no choice in this matter, because, Mr. Speaker, they have written it and assigned it that they themselves do not want to be part of this proceedings. According to the standing order, Mr. Speaker, if you so do, and we submit that there is no discretion on your part, then you shall refer this matter back to the Speaker of the House for new members to be appointed to take their place. Mr. Speaker, with respect, we take very serious reservations about the ruling that this is overruled, because, Mr. Speaker, it is pretty clear you have no discretion.
Joseph Osewusu eventually ruled before the committee adjourned, indicating they will meet behind closed doors to determine the next line of action.
Standing order says that the committee will determine whether we accept or not. We cannot do that while witness and others. Indeed, we cannot do that determination in public. To that extent, we'll bring the proceedings to a close. We'll thank the witness and apologize for this unexpected one.
After the closed-door meeting of the committee, Vice Chair Andrew Ejapa disclosed the matter is being referred to the Speaker and leadership for the committee to be reconstituted before the investigations can continue.
The rules are clear that when members of a committee, it is not a matter of quorum. Because if we commence the meeting and a quorum is in place, regardless of whether some members are absent or not, we can still proceed. But when they write indicating that they are recusing themselves, there is the need to have the full complement of the committee, because you know how the committee system works. It's made up of representatives from the minority and the majority, and the numbers of the representation on the committee is dependent on the majority and the minority principle. So it's a proportional representation issue here. And so to have the requisite balance, I think it's important that, as the rules provide, for us to have the nominations made to replace them so we can deal with the matter.
How long will this take before the committee
Well, unfortunately, that is out of my remit. I think that the rules make the leader, the Speaker and the leadership of the majority caucus to make that determination. I expect that they will do the needful.
For JoyNews, Joseph Opokugapo reporting.
The Ministry of Communications has been directed to make available to Citizen Ghana Movement a copy of the revenue assurance contract between the government of Ghana and Ken Agyapong. And the Crown High Court, presided over by Justice Anthony Yeboah, gave the ministry some 6 days to comply with the directive. The pressure group, which has been opposed to the agreement, is in court seeking to set it aside. The court has meanwhile set July 5 to give its ruling on injunction application filed by Sarah Safweje and Maximus Ametogo, asking the court to halt real-time traffic monitoring of the mobile telephony sector by the same company. And there's more in the following report.
The past 2 months has seen civil society group Imani Africa lead a charge for full disclosure on the Ken GVG agreement. They had also called on government to terminate the contract, describing it as needless. Government has over the period justified the deal, insisting it was important for it to monitor revenue. 3 writs have so far been filed against the Communications Ministry, all seeking to either have access to the documents or to have the agreement terminated. Justice Anthony Yeboah on Thursday granted a request for the documents to be provided. He asked the Deputy Minister, who was present in court, how soon they could provide the document. Mr. Anders said 1 week will be sufficient to hand over the contract. Justice Anthony Yeboah gave the ministry up to July 9, that's just 7 days to submit the document. The court then heard the other case filed by Sarah Safweje and Maximus Ametogo. Justice Yeboah fixed July 5 to give his ruling on their application for injunction against implementation of the contract.
Government has revealed the construction of the Pokwase interchange and other local roads will take up to some 24 calendar months to complete. Senior Minister Yaw Safuma for Tuesday cuts the sword on behalf of President Akufo-Addo for work to commence. The project will cost some $94 million. Out of this, the African Development Bank will provide about $83 million, with the rest from the government of Ghana.
The groundbreaking ceremony for construction of the Pokwase interchange and local roads by the Ministry of Roads and Highways is under the Accra Urban Transport Project and is intended to play a strategic role in the transport sector. The project is expected to provide an integrated and sustainable transport infrastructure for regional integration while establishing Ghana as a transportation hub within the ECOWAS sub-region. Works on the interchange at Pokwase in the Ganwest municipality in the Greater Accra region began in September last year. Senior Minister Yaw Safuma, who delivered a speech on behalf of the President, emphasized the need for the project to be completed in good time to ease the overwhelming traffic congestion in that area.
In our framework of thinking Ghana beyond aid, it is imperative for us to have resilient cities with enhanced quality of life, which is supported by very smooth intra and inter transportation. In the short to medium term, my government is working to improve traffic flows and reduce congestion in our major cities. We have major projects to improve traffic reduce congestion, and the negative effects of pollution on their health and road accidents in our major centers.
Designed to fit into the Central Corridor Road Infrastructure Project, the interchange will link Accra and Sawam, Awoshi Pokwase and Pokwase Kwabena Ridge Junction roads, and also connect to the Tema motorway. Greater Accra Minister Ishmael Ashite assured that uncompleted road projects left by the Eswal Mahama administration will be completed by the current government to improve the lives of Ghanaians.
I must put it on record that this facility is unprecedented, as it is the first vehicular tunnel in the history of this country. My ministry, therefore, in line with the government's commitment in improving the country's road infrastructure, is also undertaking some other major projects in the capital city this year. Construction of an interchange at Tema, end of the motorway. Construction of 9.1 kilometer spring road from Palace Mall in the Jokuku municipality to Community 18 in Tema West municipality. There are other major works throughout the nation to improve traveling in our cities.
The project, estimated at $84 million, was financed by the African Development Bank. Country manager of the bank, Yerobaude, mentioned some ways the project will help commuters and residents in the West Municipal Assembly.
The Awosi Pokwase Road Project, with the main objective of providing the critical missing link at Pokwase intersection and help to unlock the economic potential of this industrial zone, boost trade, provide income generation opportunities, promote affordable transport services, and generally improve the livelihoods of people in the project area.
The project, when completed, is expected to benefit factories and agro-based industries located within the project zone and create jobs.
Studies show that some 97% of residents in the Ashanti region are dissatisfied with government's effort to tackle corruption in Ghana. Anti-corruption civil society organization Pen Plus By conducted an exercise under an initiative that Metogu Keep the Pressure On as an executive director for the agency. Kwame Agyapong II recommends incorporation of anti-corruption modules in basic education curricula. Prince Opia has more in the following report.
Metogu is a Guan language meaning keep the pressure on. The report is a 2-year Pen Plus Byte project with support from the UK aid-funded Strengthening Action Against Corruption program. Findings of the study are meant to create awareness among citizens on government interventions to fight corruption. They also create opportunities for citizens to hold government to account and deliver on its promises. From the research, an overwhelming 97.5% of respondents in the Ashanti region concluded corruption is very high in Ghana. It correlated to similar views expressed by citizens in other researched regions. Greater Accra was 95.2%, Western Region 95.7%, and Volta Region was 93.2%. Executive Director of Pen Plus Byte, Kwame Agyapong II, believes anti-corruption modules in the country's education curriculum from the basic level will help in fighting the canker.
Presents us with opportunity to catch them young, to inculcate into them the values that corruption is very expensive. Corruption will mean that we cannot grow as a country. So based on that, investing in them at a age will support our idea that when you educate them, they will pick up some of these issues so that they don't behave like some of the adults when they grow up.
The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, says it has started engagement with education authorities on the matter. Mercy Labi is Ashanti Regional Director.
One thing we have to take note is that asset declaration is not meant for only politicians, but all public office holders. As mentioned in Section 3 of the Public Office Holders Asset Declaration and Exploitation Act 1998 Act 550, I think all institutions must enforce this. It's not only politicians that we have to declare their assets. All institutions or all public officers which the law mandates them to declare the assets must declare it. Research areas in Ashanti region covered the Kumasi Metropolis, Asante Akem Central Municipality, and Asante Akem South District. Prince Apia reporting.
And that's it for the news. We'll do more news. We'll review the newspapers. Kojo Yankson will be here, and then Mama Vioso Abwaje is also standing by. We'll look at all the stories, front, back pages, look at myjoyonline.com and the other online portals. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.